Nvidia just passed Microsoft as one of the most valuable public companies
Number one
to
now.
date. Yeah, number one. Not too far away from Apple. Those are the three big boys right now: Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple. It's crazy, you know. It just creeped up on us. Nvidia was obviously it's been a big company for a while, but like it's been growing a lot. And you guys can see in this picture, its market cap, it's as of June 18, 2024, it's the biggest right now.
And it's funny because back in 2022, they were struggling because before they were the AI, first it was in computers and gaming. They were number one in gaming, computers and all that. And then crypto came up and they were the number one in crypto for mining and all that. But they were the ones, as soon as ChatGPT was released, everyone was introduced, even though AI is something that's been around, but not to the level of ChatGPT, because this was the first time that we got introduced to large language models. And Nvidia benefited this because they had the best, the most powerful chips that everybody desperately needs. I think it takes over a year to even get one of their chips introduced into the companies.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
They're not the ones doing AI. In a way they are, but they're more like, they always say, the shovels, the tools that are providing for these companies like Apple, Microsoft, that are Tesla, Google, Amazon, Meta. They're the ones that are actually building the AI. Nvidia is just like the tools and shovels to go out there and do the work. So it's interesting that they're taking over the companies that are the ones that are actually doing AI. That's why a lot of people say, doesn't that seem like a bubble? Because wouldn't Apple and Microsoft be the ones worth more if they're the ones that are actually building the AI?
Yeah. Yeah. And just to give you guys a little context of, you know, like if you would have invested
Is crypto or Nvidia?
$1,000 in Nvidia back in, I think was this 2015, 2014, not too long ago, basically like roughly 10, 15 years ago, today it would be worth almost $300,000. $1,000 investment. It just makes you really sad because like, damn.
Yeah.
Who would have invested that?
You want to know another one? If you invested $10,000 when they IPO'd, do you know how much it'd be worth today? $10,000 when they IPO'd in 1999.
I see the number right now.
$59 million.
That's crazy.
And there's a lot of people that actually were like that. Now on Twitter or X, a lot of old guys were posting, "See, I told you I never sold." Yeah. So that's the power of investing, though. That is. But that doesn't mean that every company is going to do that. But one thing that this chart does resemble is, I'm pretty sure you've heard about it for a while now, this company back in 2000 in the dot-com era called Cisco. And if you look at this chart, I don't know if you have it on here, but Cisco back then, because we're talking about, are we in an AI bubble? The previous bubble was in .com. Everybody was .com. Everybody had a website. Everybody was trying to sell you this new technology called the internet. And there were a lot of companies that we use still now today: Google, Amazon, eBay, PayPal. So many of them that did, but there was a lot. And one of them that was very interesting, and they always mention it, is Cisco, because Cisco wasn't really like an internet company. They were the same as Nvidia. They were building the infrastructure to lay down the cables, the wiring to the companies to build the internet interface. And the craziest thing is this chart is very similar. And then out of nowhere, they experience a pop and they crashed. Until this day, they haven't recovered from that crash. Mm-hmm. They're still below that. But there are companies that did recover. Amazon, they dropped 90%. Yeah. But they're back,
Yeah. Nvidia accounts for 40% of the S&P 500's gains this last year. So what that means, S&P 500 is the 500 biggest companies in the U.S., and that's where everyone invests a lot of their money, ETFs, etc., because it tracks the overall stock market. And it's crazy because we're technically in a weak economy, according to a lot of economists, but stock market, so far has given almost a 20% return just this year alone. And 40% of that has to do with NVIDIA. Mm-hmm. So if NVIDIA falls, so on the negative side, if something like what happened with Cisco were to happen, the whole stock market would drop a lot. It would follow because so much of it relies on, on the growth of NVIDIA, Microsoft, the big companies, Apple, Tesla, etc.
But you have to ask yourself, if it wasn't for the AI that came out in 2022, we would definitely be in a recession. But that really helped us. Or else, because like you said, 40% of all the gains have gone through just AI stuff, right?
Just NVIDIA. Yeah. Just NVIDIA.
Okay, now ask yourself, are your friends and family truly using AI? Like, if you're
No.
trying to be honest.
No, most people are not. It's still not fully adopted.
So that's the
Is there
argument there, is it? Because it's okay.
a
We're
bubble?
valuing this like crazy amount of money, but are people actually using it, or is it just like silly videos, like talking to it on the AI, asking it questions for your homework?
Pretty much.
So that's the only thing that I'm worried about this AI, because yeah, like I use it every once in a while, but I'm not like, oh my God, you know. At first I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of scared that AI was gonna take over a lot because I film. A lot of people say, look at these AI models that are generating these videos. You're no longer need to produce and blah blah blah. Yes and no. But the average person is not using it.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing. And I talk to little kids when I hang out with them, with Avance or at my local church that I help in, and they're like in high school and middle school. And I ask them, do you guys use AI or none of that?
No one. No. It's not like okay, it makes sense. Everyone's using AI and like that makes sense why it's going up.
And then it feels like every company that is going up in sales, even Apple finally got into it. They just say AI. Ooh.
Yep.
It feels like the .com era. Everyone just said .com. Their stocks.
Or crypto.
Crypto. They just say crypto anything. And eventually that bubble pops.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we're not saying that it's going to be a whole meltdown of the stock market, but even if it drops 20, 30, 40%, it has such a huge tie to the S&P 500 that it could definitely affect those that are very close to retirement.
Yeah.
Those that are long-term investing, they have 10, 15, 20 years from now.
If this pops, it would be beautiful.
If anything,
look at Amazon.
You'll put even more money into the market because it'll be a buying opportunity.
Yeah, because I do believe in this technology, but just like the .com era, like those companies that were there that were supposedly going to be the ones that are going to kill it weren't the ones that killed it. It was the little ones. It was the small ones that were doing stuff that wasn't, you know, that everyone was thinking about, like Amazon. No one was thinking. They were making fun of him. They were like, what are you doing with selling books? You know, no one's going to do that. Or social media. They were like, who's going to post on social media? People want to do face-to-face interactions. And look at the world we live in now. Like, I have something delivered once a week from Amazon. I go on social media all the time. So I do believe in AI, but I think we're getting a little bit excited. I think the one thing that's going to tell whether or not we're going to pop is Apple, because Apple just introduced, which is smart marketing. They call it the AI, the Apple intelligence, smart marketing. But if they don't experience sales go up, because I believe what they're going to do is they're only going to be able to allow this new AI technology or Apple intelligence on their new phones. If they notice that people aren't switching their phones, I think that's going to be, I think, in my opinion, like a first glimpse, like, yeah, I don't think AI is really selling like it was once.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, it's like the whole self-fulfilling prophecy that if this isn't good, it's going to affect this. And everyone's going to start saying AI isn't the future and blah, blah, blah. And then just like that bubble right there, you know.
Well, because like there's this chart here. If you see here, the market cap of Nvidia is this changes, but roughly at one point it was $2.3 trillion. And look at the rest of their competitors: Intel, Micron, Texas Instrument, Qualcomm, AMD. You know, all of these, they're worth less than Nvidia, and they're building the same chips. Yes, Nvidia right now, what they're doing is that they're ahead of the game. They're building chips more ahead, but eventually your competition is going to catch up. So the market cap that Nvidia has right now, I don't think is going to be sustainable. Eventually, you know, even Apple used to be building all their computers through Intel. Now they have their own chips. I'm pretty sure these companies that are giving billions of dollars to Nvidia for their chips, I'm sure eventually they're going to be like, you know what, I don't want to pay for this. I'm going to build my own chip. Eventually it's going to get to that point. So yeah, like I just don't see a lot of people, regular people, using AI. So that's why, in my opinion, I think we're in an AI bubble. But another indicator is when Nancy Pelosi sells her Nvidia stock shares. I think this is when, because she's the greatest investor of all time. Once she sells her investment, that might be a sign that this bubble is going to pop. She still hasn't sold.
Yeah, that's all this stuff talk about AI.
Nerdy stuff, you know. Hopefully you're into it. But like, again, like if you go to the fundamentals, like Nvidia is selling. Like it's not like, oh, they're doing this stuff, but are they actually making money? Yeah, they're actually making a lot of money. If you see like their investments where they were before, this whole AI revolution when they were just in crypto and gaming. You see here, like they were pretty much around, let's say, around 4 billion, 10 billion, and then around the last couple of months, they went from generating that much from 28 billion. Now they're generating 80 billion, every year. So they are growing their numbers. It's not like we're there. That's the thing with .com is a little different, is their numbers weren't adding up. But with Nvidia, the difference is they are selling. They are. So until this trend of their revenue drops, then I think, but that's the thing with, that's what they always say. This time is different. I don't know. But the difference in Nvidia compared to the .com is they're actually selling a lot of their chips. They're not like just faking it.
Yeah, and they're partnering with other big companies too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they partnered with Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they like each other. The CEOs, Elon Musk and the other one.
Yeah, I want to watch one video from this investor who got invested in Nvidia early and what he thinks about it. His name is Druckenmiller, and he's been spot on a lot of things. And he recently went on CNBC because everyone's talking, can Nvidia keep going up? And this is what he had to say.
If we were all sitting here in 1999 talking about the internet, or anybody was talking about it, I don't think anybody would have estimated it would be as big as it got in 20 years. We didn't have the iPhone, we didn't have Uber, we didn't have Facebook, yada, yada. And yet, if you bought the NASDAQ in 99, it went down 80% before that all came to fruition. That's not going to happen with AI, but it could rhyme. AI could rhyme with the internet. As we go through all this capital spending we need to do, the payoff, while it's incrementally coming in by the day, the big payoff might be 4 to 5 years from now. So AI might be a little overhyped now, but underhyped long term.
So we don't know what's going to happen, but just like you said, it might be a little overhyped right now in the short term. AI everything, literally. I've been to events where they say AI and clap.
Do you even use the AI in Facebook and Instagram? I mean,
no,
how
it's annoying. It's annoying when I click it and it's this means this. I was just trying to search something. I don't want it to be AI, but it seems like companies are forcing AI into everyone's throat. But I'm sure in the long term, of course, AI is going to change the world, and it's undervalued for sure in the long term. But there's going to be dips and rips and all in between.
And I want to say one last thing, because a lot of people are scared that AI is going to take jobs. The same thing happened in the film world when CGI got introduced. They're like, oh my goodness, it's going to take away a lot of jobs. Now that they don't have to shoot on a helicopter or on location, they could just do it on a green set. The people that lost the job were the ones who were on a helicopter, who were on set. But anybody that watches a movie, Marvel, wait till the credit scene and it goes to the CGI. There's like hundreds of people working on that. So yeah, that one or two guys that were riding the helicopter might have lost their job because now you don't have to. But there's a lot of people that are getting jobs in CGI. So yes, AI might take over some jobs. We might overhype it. But like how he said, Druckenmiller, in the long run, this might benefit you. So I think you should learn it, because you're either going to be losing your job to someone who knows AI, or you're going to be working for someone who actually knows how to use it in a company.
Yeah. So that's where we want to end off here. Take advantage of AI. Don't be scared to invest, because investing is for the long term. If you want overnight gains, then go to the casino and lose all your money there, because the stock market is not about overnight gains. It's about long-term investing, about seeing
true results.
True results over the long term, and investing into companies you believe in too, or just sticking to the most traditional way, which is the S&P 500 ETF.
Chill.
10% average return over the last 100 years. The most easiest thing you can do. Forget about it. Invest it. And
especially you're around our age.
Yeah. You don't want to have to try to guess. Don't buy high and sell low. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.